Hey everybody, welcome to episode 3 of the New Hampshire Explorer. You know, when we were deciding on where to go today, something that I was thinking about is we have to be socially distanced, right? We still can't be in large groups of people. So what's one of the best places to be socially distanced? In the car, right? You're in your own little bubble. You don't have to interact with anybody. So I was thinking, let's do a road trip. And the first place that came to mind was the Kancamagus Highway. And I actually don't know how to say that. I always said Kancamagus, but I've just learned recently that it's Kancamagus. We're just gonna call it the Kanc from here on out. This is like one of my favorite places in New Hampshire. There's nothing better than this beautiful roadway that goes from Conway all the way over to Lincoln. And there's a ton of stuff to do along the way that doesn't require us to be in contact with any other people. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get out of here. We're here at the beginning of the Kanc. Laura and I are going from east to west because that's what makes sense from where we live. As you can see, most of this is located in the White Mountain National Forest. This started as two small town roads, one in Conway and one in the town of Lincoln on the other side of the Kanc. And that was all the way back in 1837 that they started the one in Conway. So this highway was actually named after Kancamagus, the fearless one. He was actually the grandson of Conway. Now he tried to keep the peace between the settlers and the natives of New Hampshire, but he was harassed constantly by the English. And after bloody conflict, after the tensions boiled over, Kancamagus and his followers ended up moving to northern New Hampshire and eventually into Canada. Kancamagus Highway is built on the side of the Swift River. The Swift River watershed is 114 square miles. It goes all the way from high up in the mountains, empties into the Saco River, which eventually brings it to the Atlantic Ocean. This spot is Lower Falls. This is one of the most popular attractions on the Kanc. But here's the thing. In the middle of the summer, this place is crawling with people. What you want to do is, you want to stop at one of the hundreds of pull-offs on the side of the road where you can hang out by the Swift with nobody else around. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's worth checking out, but if you're looking for a quiet commune with nature, this is not the spot.
This is my favorite spot. It's a very special spot. We come here every year on my birthday for the past 8 or 9 years. And it's just got this giant rock and view of the river. And you don't get any cell phone service here, which is perfect. So you can just come here and relax and listen to the river. And it's also a secret, so I can't tell you where it is. But it's beautiful.
Spots that I was talking about, you know, that aren't super crowded, this is our favorite spot, but there are literally hundreds of these spots all along the Kanc where you could just pull off and now you have a nice secluded area to just hang out for a couple hours, for the whole day if you want to. This river is freezing, but in the middle of the summer when it's really hot out, it feels so good to jump in. That's one of Laura's favorite things to do. If you're feeling stressed in any way, This is the ultimate relaxation, to come up and sit next to the river, just listen to it flow by. So another thing about the Kancamagus is that if you are a hiker, there is dozens of trailheads that occur on this route. So it's not just for a road trip. It can really be a great place to discover some new trailheads. You fire up your All Trails app and come out here and find some amazing hikes. I mean, we're surrounded by some of the most beautiful mountains in this area. So keep that in mind if you're coming up here. You could do a lot of hiking right from the side of this road. And on top of all the trailheads, there's probably a half dozen campgrounds, national forest campgrounds that are located on the Kanc. So you could even come down here and stay a couple nights, explore everything that this beautiful area has to offer. It doesn't just have to be a day trip. Kancamagus gains quite a bit of elevation as you go through it. The highest point is 2,855 feet. As you can see from some of the footage, there's still actually snow up here on May 16th. So as you gain in elevation, you get a lot more of that cold weather, and the snow sticks around for quite a bit longer. There's also no leaves on the trees up here. Spring comes a lot later when you get higher up in elevation. This is the beautiful Sugar Hill scenic view, kind of close to the middle of the Kanc. So we already talked about the fact that from the Pass Conway side, they started building the road in 1837. Now after that, it took them 100 years to connect these roads together. In 1937, finally, the west and the east ends of the Kancamagus Highway were connected. Now 22 years after that, the road was open to through traffic. 1959 is when cars could start traveling this road from east to west or west to east. Now this road immediately started becoming pretty popular, and with the unpaved roads, it started to become pretty dangerous. So in 1964, they decided to pave the road. But even after it was paved, it was still closed during the winter. They hadn't tried to plow it yet. So finally, 4 years after that, in 1968, they plowed it for the first time. And ever since then, it's been open year-round to travelers. And finally today, this road is actually traveled by over 750,000 cars per year. And for good reason. This is one of the most beautiful drives anywhere that I've ever been. And it's pretty obvious why this is so popular to so many people. I mean, take a look around us. Alright, so this is where we end our journey over the Kanc at the classic New Hampshire ski area, Loon Mountain in Lincoln, New Hampshire. And Lincoln is an absolutely gorgeous town. Make sure you explore once you get to the other side of the Kanc. Actually, Laura and I got married about a mile from here in North Woodstock at the Woodstock Inn and Brewery. We'll definitely be doing an episode on that, but make sure that you do some exploring in the towns around here. It's absolutely gorgeous. So from me and Laura, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the epic, beautiful, amazing Kancamagus Highway. See you on the next episode.